right, welcome into Bettor's Last Stand, Episode 7. We were just remarking, we can't believe we're already on Episode 7, and we enter into Week 1 of college football. The long-awaited Week 1 is finally here, Coach. I know last week kind of whet our appetite a little bit, had a few winners. I think you and I did pretty well on the weekends, football-wise, so that's a good start. But welcome to Week 1, and it's good to be here in the Pine Room, and we'll have a full house here on Saturday. You excited?
Oh yeah. We're 1 man short today. We're down 1 man here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our boy Luke Doyle, I believe he had a baseball commitment today, so he'll be sorely missed because he brings a lot of knowledge and he studies the game, and he's gonna be really good at this stuff.
Good thing he got all his Notre Dame talking in last week, so we don't miss it because we were counting on that. So Luke is a dedicated athlete. So
yes, and he's an absolute diehard knucklehead Notre Dame fan, but he loves his team and he sticks with them, and we'll miss him. So Luke, Luke will be back with us next week. But anyway, yes, Week 0, sort of the tease, the appetizer. It was good to watch college football, but it just didn't have that. It didn't have that spark, that interest, that excitement.
You mean Northwestern and Nebraska didn't get the juices going?
Yeah, there were some rough ones. Connecticut, Utah State. It was nice to see North Texas. Jake. Our kin, in there, they had a tornado.
Tornado delay. And Jake had a touchdown, career high in yards. He got the ball rolling early in that game, so that was pretty cool to see. We're going to have him on the show here on the regular podcast coming up. We're going to tape it after this. We're actually a couple days behind this week. Jubb will have everything out, though, I'm sure, promptly. I know he's got to work a little harder now because of that. But, the weather rained us out on Monday, but beautiful day here. And it seems like the weather kind of broke. The heat's kind of gone now, so pretty excited. Hopefully we get maybe we can get long sleeves on Saturday evening up here.
I don't know. I looked at
what's it going to be, 80?
I think the humidity is going to start to come back in, and I think the high temperature in the mid-80s. But it's coming. It'll be here soon enough. And
Jubb, you look real excited about that weather report.
Yeah. That really makes me smile.
You were ready for a snowstorm.
Yeah, if it snowed right now, I'd do a backflip.
Me too.
No, but I was going to say, since Luke's not here, I'll try to fill in with my extensive player.
We'd love that.
My extensive player knowledge.
Yes,
people will be on the edge of their
knowledge.
seats to hear about this. That's I saw him a couple times in his bedroom studying the
NFC North.
He's really into it. So anyway, a couple things. Yeah, Saturday, exciting. We'll be opening up the Pine Room. Hopefully, we'll have some nice clips. Jubb will have some camera work going on here in the Pine Room, which hopefully will be coming out sometimes next week, so you can really see what the Pine Room's all about with all our TVs. We're gonna have tons of food. Johnny Chocolates is putting 10 chickens on the spit and bringing those, and we're going to have some great side dishes and food all day and beer all day, and it's going to be football all day and fun and laughs and arguing. Nick said he's got a big steamroller pick for us.
An early game, right?
An early one. He'll run around a tree. You'll see some traditions here in the Pine Room that are quite unique.
And a cast of characters that maybe you haven't seen a lot of in the other things that we've done, obviously, Champ and Nick and Say. Who's the most excited out of the whole group?
Nick.
Other than you.
No, Nick.
You think Nick or Champ?
Nick said
Champ.
Champ's not eating. He's only eat all week until Saturday.
Well, he doesn't remember what day it is, but he remembers that this is Saturday.
Yes,
so.
he's very excited.
We're going to start a little tradition here, hopefully, that he'll get here early enough to open up the Pine Room each Saturday with the national anthem, which we always enjoy having him sing, and it kicks a day off. It just, a lot of question marks with that, though. Can he get up? Can he get to the track in time? Can he get a ride up here? So that's a lot of question marks, and hopefully he'll make it here by about 5 till 12. We'll have a full house and sing along, and then Matt will join us a little later after work. And should have a full house here, except Soup. Unbelievable. Here's
he's
a shocker.
to the coast.
He's headed west on the coast.
Right after the Mountaineer game.
Right, yeah. Is he? Oh, yeah, he's going to the Mountaineer. Of course.
Yeah.
Why
he's everywhere. He exhausts me. I love the guy, but he exhausts me.
Yeah, and we got some great things happening that we're going to talk about here in the Pine Room. We're going to get to the college football here in a minute, but we got some great things happening in the Pine Room. If you're a fan of the Pine Room and you want to see us keep rolling and get better and better, we just found out that we are finalists in the Final Four. I don't know how many applicants there were, but we're in the final 4 for the show of hands. It's a tradition here in Wheeling. I think he might do it maybe, Matt, a couple times a year.
Yeah, I think it's at least twice a year.
Yeah, and it's for small businesses to help them, financially get on their feet and help them buy their equipment and things like that. So luckily we were chosen for the final 4. So the actual voting is on September 28th, which is about 4 weeks away. And the more people we can get down to the Artisan Center, which is above River City, the more votes we can get, the better chance we have of winning. If we could come away with that, we could upgrade some of our equipment. Jub's got some ideas about, even taking this a little further and hopefully get on the road a little bit more. But anyway, we're excited about that, and got a couple of brand new sponsors that they'll be talking about on the podcast.
We should have had a can of beer here with us.
We should have
forgot to bring one.
Yeah, Karen Bowers is one of our big sponsors now. So a lot of us are gonna be drinking Busch Light now, which actually is a favorite beer of several of the guys in the Pine Room. I know Chris is a diehard Busch Light guy, and Jarrett's a Busch Light guy. And actually, I used to be. Oh, I used to be, and it's on the same level to me as Bud Light.
It's a solid beer. I enjoy it. I definitely like Busch Light.
Yeah, so I guess she wants us to drink. I guess there's camo cans now, so we're gonna see.
We got to work on some Busch Light bottles for Champ.
Well, we might wait as long as he's in the same.
He's got the same family,
same distributor,
right.
Yeah, so he's good. So that's exciting. And then Enzio Figueretti is going to be joining us also on the podcast this afternoon, which will be coming out hopefully tomorrow, talk about his sponsorship and the things we're going to be doing with him. We're going to be doing a high school player of the week and some specials there. He'll tell everybody about it. That's exciting. Awesome. So we got
and then we got Luke coming on the show here next segment. Luke Duplaga.
Yeah, we got Luke coming on. Luke Duplaga, and they've been a wonderful spy. Actually, I'd say Generations. Would you say, Matt, was sort of the spearhead to get us?
I would say them in River City, because I know our first live gig was what Generations first in preparation for the River City. So yeah, those two kind of tandem to be all the first people that believed in us enough to actually give us a chance. So.
Yeah, and actually we got a call from River City, Jason down there, and he wants us to come down and do another live show.
Halloween party.
Oh boy, that'd be a shootout. And then we're going to go over and do a tailgate at Wheeling Park. Morgantown game, I believe, on the 30th. So that's going to be exciting, too. So things are really cooking here in the Pine Room, and we want to keep going. We want to keep moving. And
the fire's not even lit. The fire pit's out, and it's still cooking.
But it'll be lit, and the other fire pit will be lit, and hopefully you'll get to see some of the Pine Room next week. But just wanted to bring you up to speed on everything. Don't forget to go to our store.
Yep.
Matt, that's
thepineroomshop.com. Yep.
Yeah.
And check us out on social at The Pine Room Podcast. It's at The Pine Room Podcast, right, Jub? Yeah. At The Pine Room Podcast. And then contact at thepineroompodcast.com if you want to email us. We enjoy the emails. Please send questions, comments, observations, recommendations, anything you have, betting-wise or for the other show. Feel free. We talk about a lot of cool things on there, too. And we'd love to hear from you. So we appreciate all the support we have had. We've got a lot more emails, a lot more fan interaction recently. And like Coach said, hopefully we continue to do a lot more stuff like that as time goes on. But we're getting to the time of year where we have the pinnacle event every Saturday now here, pretty much. I mean, we'll have a few off. I know 1 week my sister's getting married, so that will be out that week. But we got a few mixed in bye weeks, but most of the time you'll find us here on Saturdays, and we're pretty excited about it. So recapping last week a little bit, our Pine Room picks overall were 11-9, so not bad, but we were 4-1 in college football. So between yours and my picks, we did pretty well. It was a solid week. I actually had a solid return. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I did too. Jeff Doyle told me that first time in a long time he's off to a good start. He hit two. He's 2-0. He had two teasers and hit them both. He loved your over in that. Well, he had to tease that Charlotte down to get over, and that game started out like it was gonna fly over the toe. Yeah. That's the only one that hurt me the on Saturday. That's the only one that really hurt me because I loved Northwestern as you did.
Right.
I thought Illinois was a total overmatch for Wyoming. And then I thought, and you had done a lot of research on Hawaii, and
Yes.
saw they had some inner problems.
School was out on them. That line just kept going up, and people just kept pounding it.
And you know what's funny? I watch. I don't know if you watch Daily Wager ever on.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, and those guys are pretty sharp. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you that even guys like that. There was the one younger guy. His name slipped my mind right now. It's not Joe, but shoot. Anyway, he loved Hawaii. He just
really?
thought, yeah, absolutely. He said, Vandy going across the country, all those time zones.
Sure.
Over there partying low EC. So it just goes to show you that even the best guys get beat around. And I watch they give best bets like we do.
Right.
And sometimes their best bets are 1-4, 1-5.
Oh yeah.
No
Bear.
He is, in my opinion, I follow Bear quite a bit.
Felica.
Yeah, Bear Felica, and I think he's average at best on his picks.
And I think that's the good thing about guys like him is he tells you the truth. He's not trying to lie to you. Yeah, you're going to have strong opinions on things, and he's in numbers. He has all those great trends and all those cool things that he researches and stuff. And those things, like Jimmy Vaccaro, legendary bookmaker, says trends don't pay the rent.
Right.
So I mean, they look great, and like the Hawaii thing, I would have definitely subscribed to that theory. Going across country, Vandy's a program that's struggled. You would think, oh, this is ripe for the taking for Hawaii. But then when you read about Hawaii and you see that the problems that they had, and then that kind of superseded it, and then you started hearing that Vanderbilt was drastically improved and Hawaii was really bad. So and then that mix turned into an absolute slaughter. So it was a 63-10.
Yeah. So and again, they weren't very exciting games. I did enjoy the Northwestern game a little bit. I mean, it was it was a little back and forth.
Yep.
I don't think either team is very good,
right?
And I think Scott Frost is in big trouble. And he even admitted that that onside kick changed the game. They were
How about his interviews after?
Yeah,
the game?
geez, they were up 10 points with the momentum. I got kick it deep, pin them in. Defense is playing well. Pin them in, get the ball back.
It's amazing.
They turned the game.
Absolutely.
They get the ball midfield and take it in and score.
Exactly. Oh, I think they were in total control.
Absolutely,
you just relinquished control.
And he admitted it. He absolutely made a
Then he
kind
of threw his offensive coaches under the bus a little bit.
Yeah.
But I had this stat that I found the other day. Nebraska is 5-21 in one-score games in Scott Frost's tenure.
Wow.
Frost has lost 30 games already in his career. Bo Pelini was there for 7 years, and they ran him out of town. He only lost 27 as an entire time there. So
yeah, I can't see Scott Frost making it next year.
He's in big trouble.
Yeah, I think because Nebraska. I mean, you look, they're traditionally a really good. When they used to run that option and.
Yep.
Them in Oklahoma were just battles.
In the Big Eight, yeah.
Yeah, they've sort of fallen off the radar, and so anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, 11-9 on the Pine Room picks, 4-1 in college football. Be sure and check those out on social. Jubb does an awesome job of getting those up. He's going to be real busy on Friday as he gets these shows prepared and gets those picks up. And I'm hoping that some of the guys will send their picks in. I'm gonna crack the whip on them tonight, and let's go, guys. Get your picks out there so we can have a lot of good content there. Jubb does an awesome job dressing those up, making them look really cool. So check those out at the Pine Room Podcast on the social media. He'll have those on Instagram, sometime on Friday. Thursday's game won't be a game that we pick, but we pretty much discussed those in depth a little bit last week.
I like some, and we're going to dive into the Thursday here. I have some games Thursday I like a lot, and we'll talk about those here shortly. And we'll be anxious to hear Luke Duplaga's first ever Generations Pine Room podcast parlay.
Yeah.
So we're anxious to hear that.
That'll be really fun. A couple of things to talk about from the previous weekend. Rory McIlroy comes from behind to win the FedEx Cup. Did you have anything in that, Coach?
I didn't have Rory. I actually had a pretty decent week in golf.
Yeah.
I did. I've actually had a pretty good year in golf. I have.
Too bad it's going quiet now.
Going quiet.
Right in time for football.
And in NASCAR, I'm sure you were going to hit on that.
Yes, we're going to talk about that. But Rory started six back. He fell behind as many as 10 shots, and you could get him actually 90-1 at one point to win that. Great performance by him. I'm no Rory McIlroy fan by any means, but impressive. Although I do think it kind of cheapens it when a lot of the good guys, aren't playing.
Right,
it,
exactly.
Which sucks. Which golf needs to get that figured out because that's really taken away from it, unfortunately.
Yep.
And you even have players like McIlroy making comments about it, saying we got to figure something out because the best guys need to be out here.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, totally. But on to NASCAR, incredible Coke Zero 400 at Daytona. Just chaos. Got rained out on Saturday night, Sunday morning, early start. They were running along pretty well. Had a few decent-sized accidents as the race went on. But then with about 25 laps left, the whole world came undone as far as NASCAR when one of the biggest accidents that I've ever seen as far as collecting cars happened. And Austin Dillon ended up inheriting the lead, and then when they restarted it, he ended up hanging on. But a parlay that was hit, a 60-cent round-robin parlay by 5. The player hit 5 out of 6, I believe, on the ticket. And they were some of the worst drivers in NASCAR. I mean, it was an incredible payout. The original payout was for $177,000.
Did you hear this one?
60 cents. 60-cent parlay on FanDuel, I believe. I'm going to try to pull it up. But it was a 60-cent parlay on FanDuel. He played a round robin by 5s. It was a 6-team round robin. So with a round robin by 5. So you could miss one and still get it. And the guys that he had in the top 10, these were all racers to finish in the top 10 of the Coke Zero 400.
These names are unbelievable.
If you follow NASCAR, you know the good drivers and who's good, and you know the coach and I. Obviously, and Chris, we talk about a lot of time. It's actually funny to look at the guys at the end, like where they're at. It'd be fun to bet matchups on them. But some of the drivers that were in this parlay, Landon Castle, he probably hasn't had a top 10 in his entire career. Noah Gragson is a very young, up and coming driver, so he actually is pretty good. Cody Ware, B.J. McLeod, David Reagan. Those were the guys. Those were the 5. I think there, or maybe been Tyler Reddick too. Or no, it wasn't Tyler Reddick.
No, not Reddick.
No, it was
wasn't Chris Buescher, was it?
No, because I'm looking at the he had 5 of them. So Reagan, McLeod, Ware, Gragson, and Castle. That was the 5. Okay.
And he missed on.
And he missed on one guy, Todd Gilliland.
Finished like 12th.
Yes,
or something.
Todd Gilliland I think was around 12th or 14th.
Isn't that amazing?
He only had to get 5 of those right. So when you do the round robin parlay and you're doing it by 5s, it gives you an opportunity to have your 6 drivers and you hit 5 of them, you still get something back. Well, his original bet, 60 cents to win $177,000. He ended up winning $100,000 for getting 5 out of 6.
Unbelievable.
So one of the most incredible NASCAR feats I've ever seen. But when you have those restrictor plate races, that tends to happen sometimes. So anyway, NASCAR is always exciting. Playoffs begin this week. Should be interesting at Darlington, Southern 500. So pretty cool. U.S. Open tennis started. I was going to give this out on the other day, but we got rained out. I really like Marin Cilic. He's a big Croatian, just a crushing serve. He's 12-1 to win his quarter, which would mean he would make it to the Final Four, the semis. Take a look at him out there. If he's still a decent price, I would recommend him even going into the second week of the tournament. He's really good. If he's going to be a guy who's never going to get broken hardly at all. So if he can just break a guy once or twice in a match, he's going to win. Just really powerful on the hard courts. I really, really liked him a lot. And then I was going to give out the Fade Osaka, and she got beat last night, so I didn't get But anyway, tennis is looking good. Sloane Stephens, another one. Keep an eye on her. She's a former major champion, 65-1. She struggled in her first match, but she won. She could come alive. Her game's starting to come around. So we've watched some tennis here in the Pine Room as the weeks have went on. So it always turns out to be pretty fun when the crowd gets into it up there at Flushing Meadows. So keep an eye on that. But let's talk about Week 1, Thursday night, Coach.
Yeah,
where do you want to go?
Well, you want to take a break and then come back to Luke?
Sure, we can do that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's do that.
We'll get Luke on the phone and get his parlay. I think he's waiting for us to call him.
Perfect.
And then we'll roll right into Week 1. And then, Job, we got any MMA this weekend?
Honestly, I haven't.
It's a light card. It's a fight night. Next week, there's a big one.
Yeah.
So
okay.
We'll get ready for next week, but we'll be right back on Bettor's Last Stand with Luke Duplaga and the Pine Room Generations Parlay.
Ooh.
This show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. All wagering activity should only be conducted by those 21 years of age or older and within the confines of federal, state, and local law. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, contact 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
All right, welcome back into Bettor's Last Stand, Episode 7. We're pleased to be joined by Mr. Luke Duplaga, who's going to give us a really nice parlay winner this week. But, Luke, before you get into the parlay, tell us a little bit what's going on at Generations here for the opening week of college football.
Well, it's going to be a big night tomorrow night, Backyard Brawl. We're going to run a little special called the Mountaineer Burger.
Ooh.
For burger night, as long as the Pine Room Burger is going to be banging as always. Mountaineer Burger is going to do a little spin-off of our West Virginia dog. Throw our chili on it, some ketchup and mustard. A little sloppy, but should be a little decent burger.
No.
Oh, you ought to sell a bunch of those.
Oh, hopefully. And selling a lot of buckets of beers. We're on $16 buckets, all beer, $16, $6 to a bucket.
Nice.
And heading into the weekend, we're going to run that bucket special with our wings and pierogi special all weekend football season, every Saturday and Sunday.
Delicious. So the game you're probably most excited about is what, Ohio State, the Saturday night game?
I'm very excited. I'm definitely going to put that game in the Backyard Brawl in this parlay.
Okay, all right. Well, without further ado then, tell us where you're going here with this parlay.
You guys aren't going to like this. I know people don't understand what Jim Knowles is doing up to that Buckeye defense. I think you take Ohio State with the points. The reason I say this is because ever since the Team Up North game, Ryan Day has been not on the hot seat, but he needs to step it up. We don't lose those type of games at Ohio State. And you saw the Rose Bowl. We knew going in the Rose Bowl was Kerry Combs' last game as defense coordinator. And we snugged Jim Knowles out to Oklahoma State in the offseason. Paying him like a head coach's salary, a small D1. He's getting like $2.5-3 million a year. He had Oklahoma State as a top 5 defense. Supposedly, too, on the boards, they're saying that his defense has been dominating all camp, summer, fall. So I see the Buckeyes holding the Notre Dame to like a 35-17, 42-21 game.
Okay.
Not going to be able to stop that offense for sure. C.J. Stroud he's going to be a Heisman candidate, maybe the winner this year.
Okay, give me that prediction of the score again. What was your thinking on the score?
I'll go 42-21.
So you're thinking that's going to go over the total. You're thinking you thinking the Buckeyes and over the total.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I like it.
Yeah, I think the defense is going to let them score a few touchdowns, maybe a couple field goals, touchdown or so, but I think the defense is also going to come up with some big plays, big sacks, and it's just not going to be able to keep up with that offense.
I understand that point of view.
Weapons.
Yep.
There's weapons everywhere.
So do you think by halftime the game will be decided? Do you think Notre Dame will still be hanging around at halftime?
I think they'll still be hanging around.
Okay, so you're thinking maybe 10, 13.
I don't think it's going to be super close at halftime. I think it's just going to be, first game of the year. Jitters. I mean, huge game for Marcus Freeman, and coming back to Columbus, he was a Buckeye great with James Nice on his staff too. I just think it's going to be like maybe 14-10 halftime.
Okay.
Something like that.
Little light scoring early.
Too close, but coming in after halftime, I think Ohio State pulls away with that offense.
Okay. All right. So that's the first leg of the Generations parlay. Everybody on the end of their seat waiting for the back end.
Well, let's go to Pittsburgh.
You're going 2 big games.
Oh, yeah, we're going big. Yeah, I think we got to keep it local. 2 big games. I'm going to go WVU with the points, get 7.5. And, I say this because I want to say Pitt's good enough to beat them, but I just don't know how good. I know their defense is like a top 3, top 5 defensive line in the nation. But the back half of the defense with that new quarterback, he might be able to eat them up a little bit.
Right.
But I think this is going to be like a 3-point end of game field goal winner.
Okay. Yeah. I like it.
That's why I feel comfortable taking WVU, and I'm not really, me, I'm not a big WVU supporter.
Right. Nor am I.
Able to pull it off. I mean, honestly, they could pull it off, but the fan base is going to be 80-20.
Right.
WVU fans is going to be wild. I just don't think Pitt is as hungry as WVU. I think Neil Brown will definitely have his boys out there. Really, they're going to set the tone off the line of scrimmage. Right. Maybe that was the passing game to win the game.
I like it. We're on board with you. Coach and I both have the Mountaineers, so we're hopeful that one turns out for you. So tomorrow night at Generations, you expecting a large crowd on hand?
Hopefully we. The tickets are way too expensive. I'm hearing a lot of people actually not going up to the game actually because of the ticket pricing. I mean, it's just insane. So hopefully we get a nice crowd here in Wheeling, and it'll be on all the TVs and drinking beer and eating burgers, baby.
Yeah, doesn't get any better than that,
so
right? So
you're
Coach?
going. Let's see. So let's recap again. You're going with the Mountaineer Burger. That thing sounds incredible. We might have to. Yes. We might have to come out and do one of those. And that's what's that got on it? It's got your award-winning chili, a little ketchup and mustard, and
award-winning chili and cheddar cheese, shredded cheddar, and
Jub's shaking his head, man. He's. I think I see a little.
And then we're running buckets of beer special for the football games, all year, college, pro, $16 buckets, all brand.
Okay, so that's every Saturday and Sunday. You're going to do the $16 buckets.
Yes, and every football game, any game, Thursday night football, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, even the MAC action Wednesday.
Yeah, perfect.
Now, will you be there? Will you be there for the game A tomorrow night and B Saturday night? Will you be at Generations for both of those, or do you have a certain place you're going to go to watch them?
You're going to like this. I'll be in attendance for both games.
You're going. You're
Nice.
going to both games.
Nice.
I'm going to both games. I definitely wasn't going to miss that Ohio State game. I for sure wasn't missing that. I've had my ticket for a while now.
Now, who are you going with to the Ohio State game?
I go up with Dr. George's and his son.
Okay.
We have a tailgate in a parking garage just right next to the stadium. I've been doing that the last probably 8 to 10 years, and I've been going on road. We do like about 20 to 25 dudes road trip every year. So we got a nice crew. We call it the happy place before game.
That sounds like a good
Sounds
time.
very happy.
Well, Luke, it was a pleasure for you to join us. Thanks for giving us the parlay. Hopefully it turns out a winner. We'll be pulling for you, rooting for you here in the Pine Room. We look forward to talking to you each week, and excited for college football to finally be here. So thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, and we'll post your parlay on our social media so people can follow it, and they're either going to come out to the Generations and bash you or thank you for making them a little cash.
Yeah. So, all right, Luke. Well, thanks, buddy. Enjoy the games, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for all you do for us, too, Luke. We appreciate all you've done.
Appreciate it.
Guys. We're going to keep this going. We're going big time, baby.
Sounds great, buddy.
Oh, yeah, all the way to the top.
Let's go.
All right.
Thanks,
all right,
Luke.
good luck.
Right.
Thanks, man.
Later. See you.
Bye.
All right, Luke Duplaga, what do you think of that parlay?
I like it. I can see the sides of both of those. I mean, I'm on the Mountaineers pretty good, and the more I'm checking out the Notre Dame game, it's starting to worry me for the Notre Dame guys. I hate to say that for our Notre Dame buddies, but I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about that. And Ryan Day's the kind of guy that likes to run the score up too, and I think he would definitely do it if he can get a chance.
What's your feeling?
Oh, is that why you were pointing to me?
Yeah, I wanted to see if you wanted to talk to Luke about it or anything.
About what I think?
Give your 2 cents. You said you'd chime in and help us out.
Well, you guys were on a roll. I didn't want to interrupt with my genius.
All you were doing was thinking of that Mountaineer burger.
Yeah. It's thinking about the
was
bun.
I.
No, but I think it's going to be a great game. Well played. I'm going to go. I listen to a lot. I don't know a lot, but I listen to a lot. I'm going to go with Ohio State in that game. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, yeah. Ohio State. Okay, what about Pitt, West Virginia tomorrow night?
West Virginia. I think it's they're
do or die.
I think the crowd is going to be a huge factor in that. I don't know.
Here's a question that I have. Now, certainly the Pitt fans can't possibly let that Sweet Caroline song be played in that stadium. Do you know what'll happen if that happens? I mean, they'll start singing it themselves, and it makes me mad anyway. They do that, but anyway,
I'd imagine there'll be some fisticuffs in
I bet.
Stadium. I especially that night game. People are going to be. There's probably people already starting it.
What time you think they'll be getting up there at 7 a.m. The Mountaineer fans.
How would you like to be going up there tomorrow and just fighting traffic and out. And
I'll be so happy to just be here. You know, I don't want to go anywhere near that place.
That's going to be nuts.
God, yeah.
So anyway, good luck to Luke, and
yes.
Hopefully he starts out his parlay on a great note, and people can start following him. We'll be doing that every week with Luke, and that's
exciting.
That's exciting. That's really cool.
It's really fun, Coach. I think to get, we know Luke Duplaga pretty good, but I don't know what his betting thoughts are. It's nice to get other opinions from guys that you're not used to getting them from. I think
he was well prepared. He had some good facts there.
Yes, he did, and he is right about the upgraded defensive coordinator.
Yes.
I think that's a huge thing, and I also think that also works in against poor Say's team on Thursday night. Now, I still think they'll take care of business against Central Michigan, but I think that's going to have an effect on Oklahoma State this year.
So let's talk
Thursday.
About so we've already talked about West Virginia and Pitt. Matt and I both are going to take the Mountaineers plus the points. I have a couple that I really like. I like Minnesota a lot. I know that's a lot of points, but I think Minnesota is going to be very good. I don't know what the action is happening over at your place.
It's pretty balanced, more towards Minnesota. New Mexico State's performance on week 0 Saturday didn't do them any favors. They were not very good. So I definitely expect the Gophers. I'm a Gopher backer. If we go back to the Big Ten, that was my win total that I liked the most, and I even thought maybe sprinkle a little bit on them to win the conference if they could get to the championship game maybe.
And then my other play, and I gave this out it was a long time ago when we did the Big Ten, and that's been at least 3 weeks ago. I didn't give a future play. I guess you could consider it a future play since it was 3 weeks ago, but it was a game play, and I really like. I'm fading a tick on Purdue. I really, really like them a lot, but the closer it gets to the game, I'm not as strong. If I was giving it stars, and a 5-star was my strongest, I was considering as a 5-star early, but I'm down to about a 3-star now on Purdue at home. I like them at home. I like them at night, and I think they'll play. Penn State toe to toe. I think that's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah. That line has stayed right around 3.5 the entire time it's been posted. I think that's a really good game. I saw a few sports books actually talking about how they're going to need Purdue this week. They're taking a lot of Penn State, but that depends on where it was. A couple of them were over in eastern Pennsylvania and so forth. So it is very interesting when you get into college football season, the different books and the different jurisdictions, who will need what based on the local teams. It plays a major role. So you could have the same property or same ownership group that owns properties in different areas, and they may need the same game to go different ways based on that. So somebody calling in with a bet right now.
Yeah, I think that was. I think that might have been maybe Chris calling in with his parlay.
Oh yeah, he's talking. He wants to talk high school probably.
Yeah,
about his game that he's going to. But anyway,
who do you like? You have any strong opinions?
I do like the Mountaineers. Like we've been saying, I've been liking that. I've liked that for months. Sharp money's starting to show on Pitt, which is starting to worry me a little bit. That's up to 8 at a lot of spots, and it's scaring me a touch. I think the Mountaineers win a tight one, or it could get ugly than the other way. But Neil Brown, I think he really needs this game. But I'm on board with you with Purdue. I think they're going to be right in that game the whole time. They probably win it late. So I'd take a look at them on the money line as well, like you mentioned a few weeks ago. I also a lot of movement towards Missouri right now. That's ticked up 3 points, and people were starting to jump all over Missouri. 87% of the money is on Missouri right now, and about 65% of the tickets is on Louisiana Tech. So that's telling you that there's big bets on Missouri. So I would take a peek at Missouri, and then I also agree with you. I'm going to get on Minnesota. I'm going to play them first quarter and first half for sure. I think they come out and just smoke New Mexico State. And for people who think that having a game, I've heard this come up a couple times. Brian Kelly mentioned it in his press conference this week about, well, Florida State's got a game on us, and that's why he wouldn't reveal the quarterback. Just so I found this stat, just so people can figure out how this actually works. Since 2007, the college football team playing their second game, facing a team playing their first game, is only covering at 43%. Yeah. So the team who's playing the first game is covering better. So take that into account. Don't be swayed by all this team played. If the other team's better, it's going to show up real quick. So I think Minnesota crushes New Mexico State right out of the chute. I'd be a little worried about a shit touchdown, but I'm not even sure they can accomplish that.
I think that's going to be really ugly. I think it's a Vandy Hawaii kind of score.
Yes.
A 63-10 kind of score. I think Minnesota scores whenever they want. I like them a lot. I like them.
Agreed.
So,
all right.
Let's
so move on to Friday then.
Yeah, Friday. Not much of a card there. A couple of games, but I tell you one I do like, and people are all over Indiana. I'm seeing a lot of play on Indiana. I don't know what you're seeing. No. I like Illinois a little bit in that game.
Illinois.
Yeah, I like Illinois in that game. I was impressed with Illinois on Saturday. I liked them against Wyoming, even though Wyoming isn't very good. I did like Illinois, and I like Illinois getting a field goal. I think they got a chance of winning that game outright.
I think they win the game outright. I think you look out there for a reverse line, alternate lines on Illinois. Lay 6, something like that. Don't lay 7.5. You don't want to get hooked, but find something to get a good return. I really think Illinois is the better team in this game. I think this line is wrong. I expect Illinois to really put it on. Indiana's lost 8 in a row at the end last year. I have no faith in them. Their cupboard is bare, and I agree with Coach. I thought Illinois looked pretty good. I'm not saying that they're going to be near the top of the Big Ten, but they're improved, I think, and I like them definitely.
Yes.
I also like Old Dominion. Catching around 7.5 or 8 if you can get them. I would take a look. They upset Virginia Tech a few years ago as a 29-point dog. I remember us watching it up here in the Pine Room. Really, really exciting. A great game, actually. Really back and forth, great game. But take a look at the Monarchs at home. They'll be pumped up there for that game. They'll have a great home crowd on hand. But the other game, too, that I saw on Friday that's taken a lot of interest, at least from my eyes, a lot of sharp money going on the over in the Western Michigan State game. So take a peek at that. You may want to bet it as soon as you see it. Keep an eye on the number and see if it continues to get north of 56 or so. You may want to lay off. But if you can get it at 54, 55, I think it's worth a shot. Lots of big conglomerate bettors, those betting groups, consortiums, they're betting that game over. So it's always nice to be on their side, but they don't always win, so you never know. But if you had a thought about that, it might be the way to go. But yeah, Friday's card, Texas Christian at Colorado. I want to play TCU in the game. Colorado is very down, but I don't know if I trust them that much. I'm going to take a wait and see approach on that one. Maybe some in game or something like that. And then the other game, Temple at Duke. That's a struggle. I would play Temple if I had to make a pick. Duke should not be laying 7 against anyone.
Yes.
So I would lean Temple.
I think if that game was at Garden Park, I wouldn't go watch that game. That's a game not that.
How much can they charge to get into that game?
I don't know.
Jubb, would you pay to go see that? Temple and Duke.
Yeah, that's going to be a painful game to watch. That honestly may be a game to play under the total.
Sure.
I don't think there will be many points in that game. But
and that total's already dropped 3 points, open to 54, down to 51.
It's down to 51. So I think I'd play that game under the total, but boy, I'm not going to spend much time. Well, if I bet it a little bit, it could become a very interesting
game. Check out ACC Network.
Yeah,
do you get that on Comcast yet? You guys finally do, right?
Yeah, we do.
All right. Finally, jeez.
Yes.
It's only been like 8 years. But,
we finally get it.
Moving on to Saturday's
big day
action.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Big day.
Do you want to go through some of the plays you like, or how you want to?
Go ahead. You talk about some. I don't want to go through every game.
Yeah. So the Appalachian State game, obviously an intriguing game for our group. We mentioned it. Several guys had opinions on the game. Appalachian State, I think, wins this game. I think North Carolina's down. I think this is like a Super Bowl type thing for App State. I think they're going to have a huge crowd there. And I saw this interesting tidbit. App State's last 5 games against Power 5 conference opponents have been decided by a total of 18 points. So this is going to be a close game, I would imagine, or maybe Appy beats them down pretty good. But I expect them to hang in this thing the entire way. Definitely be on the Mountaineers at noon on Saturday. So that's one that I really like.
Nick usually gives us a big 10-star, and when he gives a 10-star, we have a couple of pine trees here. He runs around one of the pine trees and hoots and hollers, and we all wait for him until he catches his breath, and then he announces the big play. And He gave it out early. I was surprised. I was surprised he gave it out early.
He's so excited he couldn't hold it in.
Yeah, and I told him, the play was that particular game over the total. He said it's not even going to be close. It's one you could really step up and maybe double your money on your wager. So it's the North Carolina App State game over 55.5. So I'm laying the heavy money on it, because Nick usually comes out of the gate strong. So
he does. He's a quick starter.
Quick starter and a slow in the middle and slower finisher.
Yes.
I actually teased him. I said, it'll be 6-3.5, and you'll be sitting up in the upper corner where he does when things aren't going well. What's he do, Job, when he's
whipping his phone?
I don't know if I'm at the authority to say that, but maybe you'll find out when we start filming.
Yeah.
He's not going to escape the camera. We don't want to spoil it for everybody.
Yeah. So hopefully, if he's doing that, doing this particular thing, he's not having a good day.
Yes,
he's either doing that or playing blackjack.
When I get here a little bit later normally, just because of
you
my
can
job.
tell. You can tell.
I can usually see how things are going early on. If he's in a different position, I worry. So,
or if he's at the dessert
well,
table.
yeah, that's him and Champ over there. Yeah, jeez, how many visits? The middle on how many visits to that will be at least 5.5.
Yeah, so I'm on App State too, and I'm going to take Nick's over in that game.
Okay.
But I really like App State.
Anybody else at noon you're interested
No,
in?
not much in that. Not much in that.
I like one game at noon a lot. This would be my biggest play of the weekend right now. I absolutely love Maryland. Minus, if you can get 23.5, get on it. But I think you can lay. I would lay up to 4 touchdowns. I think they just absolutely murder Buffalo. I'd also maybe take a look at the over in the game. There's been a lot of play on that total may start rising up too. You get some sharp action on that. But I'm a very big Maryland backer here. I think they just got way too much talent for Buffalo, and think they beat them up pretty badly there.
Okay.
So that's my favorite early
Good,
game, so.
good. Okay, I'm gonna get on that one.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were that strong on the Terps.
Let's talk about a game at 2:30. Bowling Green comes to visit your UCLA Bruins.
Yeah.
Now this is an interesting. This game opened UCLA minus 31.5, went down to 25.5, and then overnight till this morning it dropped down to 23. So I don't know what the hell is going on at UCLA. Have you heard anything?
No, I have
not either.
I have not.
So,
as long as they win the game, I'm not going to bet them. As long as they win the game, I got to get Lauren. If I lose out of the gate early, Lauren's probably going to call me.
Right, to Bowling Green at home, that would be very alarming.
Lauren probably would call me.
You better get the shirt in the mail.
Yeah, because I'm in big trouble. No, I think the UCLA would be all right to win the game, but I'm with you. I maybe
That's
there's something going on.
Yeah, I'd stay away from that game if you're thinking about it. I'd stay away from that game. Any other midday games, Coach, before the 3:30s? Intriguing.
No,
what about Cincinnati, Arkansas? Do you have a thought on that game?
I really don't. I've looked at that game and I can't get a feel on that game at all.
It's hard to see what Cincinnati will have, I think.
I know Tulsa going to Wyoming. Wyoming, I thought was very bad. Very bad.
That lines went up since that performance by Wyoming, as went up from an opener of Tulsa -1 to 6.5.
Yeah, I would definitely play Tulsa there. I think Wyoming's terrible. So a 3:30 lean for me is Tulsa, definitely.
I like that. Moving on to a game I like at 3:30. UTSA, the Roadrunners.
That was your bet to win that conference.
Yes. I like them. Yeah. I like them a lot. I think they're well coached. I don't trust Dana Holgorsen in opening games either. He has a trait of a coach that doesn't really work on special teams, just works on his flashy offense, won't be organized, penalties, too many men on the field, that kind of stuff. I would look for the Roadrunners to hang around in that game. They have a little bit to replace, but I think they got enough coming back that they can be pretty strong. Total's starting to tick up a little bit. It's went up 4 points from the opener, from 58 to 62. So they're expecting some points there. I don't like that over. I would be more inclined to play it under if I had to choose. But I like UTSA in that game. I think they make a strong showing.
I'm with you. And then one of my best plays at 3:30, and I gave this out way early. Actually, I gave this out when we did the Pac-12. I like Georgia.
Way back 7 weeks ago.
Yeah, I like Georgia a lot to cover that spread.
Yeah.
I think Oregon's way out of their league, coming coast to coast.
Yep.
I think Georgia will roll.
Yeah.
I think Oregon's going to have a hard time scoring. I like that game under the total a little bit, but
Right.
I like Georgia a lot in that game.
Agreed. Another game mid-afternoon that has some interesting things from a betting perspective. Troy getting heavy, sharp action right now. 96% of the money on Troy right now against Ole Miss. People are scooping up that 21.5. It's getting bet everywhere. So keep an eye on that one. Troy, if you can get 21.5 and you had a thought of maybe playing Troy, be sure you get it because it's going to start going down, I think. I think you'll see that probably end under 20. So if you like Troy, get on it. If you like Ole Miss, wait till near kickoff.
Yeah, I like Troy a little bit there.
Yep.
I like Troy in that game catching the points. Yeah.
I know. That's pretty much all the games that I had that circled as far as interesting. One game that was moved a little bit. Well, let's see. BYU minus 12 down to 11. And that's not much of a move. But I tell you what, they could crush South Florida. South Florida is regarded as to be one of the worst teams in college football. I would take a look at that game. I don't love it, but I'd strongly think about BYU if you think they're able to travel down to the heat of South Florida and play. That's the only thing that worries me about that game.
Exactly.
Because the next game we're going to talk about, the Utah and Florida game, that concerns me too for Utah if you're a Utah backer.
Yeah,
it's going to be really hot down there in the swamp. Early season game. Florida practices in that, and Utah, let's be honest, is not an area of the country that's known for its intense humidity and heat. So do you like anybody in that game? That Florida
should be,
Utah?
That should be a really good game. I think that's going to be. I think that's one of the better matchups of the
7 o'clock kick
afternoon. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a 7 o'clock kick.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you there. Utah's got to deal with the heat, and as you saw, we saw in a lot of the high school games. Yeah. There was some really issues with the heat, the cramping. Yeah. So that always becomes a factor when those teams come and play in the heat like that. So. It's something you got to watch, but I don't have much of a feel on that. I really struggle to bet Florida.
Yeah, I do too. I do like Florida in this game. I think this game should be a very close game, but I could see this being an ugly game. I could see this being low scoring. Florida, like Coach said, they're dreadful to worry about when they're trying to cover a spread. They can't move the ball. I do expect them to get a little bit better this year. They always have players, but defensively they're strong. I like them in the game. I may just wait and do a little in-play on this game to see how it starts out. Maybe Utah gets ahead early or something like that and play Florida at a better price. But I would lean Florida in the game. I think they have a little bit of an advantage. But Utah's got some talent. They're getting a lot of love from people across the country.
Yes.
So should be a great game. Another game that I thought was interesting is 7 o'clock kick. Liberty at Southern Miss.
Yeah.
Sharp money showing on Liberty. Like a
really?
bunch. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm interested to see. I don't have a strong feeling anywhere on that game, but you may want to do a little research on Liberty. Southern Miss has been pretty bad the last few years, so that might be something worth looking at.
Yeah, I don't have much of a feel on that game. I was leaning a little bit towards Southern Miss, but when you tell me sharp money's coming in on Liberty, I might stay away from that a little bit.
How about, let me ask you about this game, another one that's just some crazy stuff happening with the line the last couple of days. Miami, Ohio at Kentucky. Sharp money starting to show up in just buckets, suitcases in Miami.
Really?
For Miami, yes.
Huh.
That thing's dropped from 20 to 16 in the last 2 days. So, and I'm high on Kentucky. That was my SEC team. So it worries me a little bit. Hopefully they can at least win the game because I need it for the win total. But I don't know. There's something's going on there. Somebody knows some news, I think. Or at least they think they know some news.
And those MAC teams traditionally early in the season play these Power 5 teams very, very well. I think that game worries me a little bit too, and I'm like you. I'm a Kentucky fan too. I like Kentucky. I think they're gonna make a lot of noise in the SEC. Yep. I like them a lot. So with that being said, I like Miami a little bit in that game.
Sure.
Catching the points, I really do.
Yeah, and if you're gonna get it before it goes any lower, because if you could find a 17 out there, I'd recommend. But you're gonna want it because it's probably gonna keep dropping. With that news of whatever is going on down there in Kentucky, I looked at it. I couldn't find anything that was sticking out as far as knowledge or anything, but we'll see.
Now and then the next game on the card, I have a strong feel,
okay.
and not necessarily just because of Jake Roberts, but I like this game under the total.
I do too.
I really like this game. I think that is way too high. I know North Texas plays up tempo, but as you saw last year, they weren't as explosive as they have been, and I don't look for them to. That is a really.
They don't want to get in a shootout with SMU.
No, that is a really high total. I really like that game under the total.
We'll ask Jake about that when he joins us on the regular podcast here in a little bit.
I don't think we'll ask him what he's going to bet.
Well, we won't ask him. We'll ask him about if he thinks it'll be a shootout, or without asking him if they'll cover. Or anything.
Right. That's a good. That's a good.
Be sure and tune in and check out our relative Jake Roberts, the tight end number 87 for North Texas. We're going to have him on our show. That should be really fun. He's coming off an awesome week. But, yeah, that should be a really good game. I like the game under, too. The totals dropped down a couple of points, down to 68. Some money starting to show on SMU, which is interesting. I thought North Texas gave a pretty decent showing last week, but SMU is always a pretty strong program. So we'll be watching that one. And cheering Jake on, and hopefully it's a low-scoring game. Did the Mean Green pull out?
Yeah, and the next game I'm going to play just a quick little, a couple little plays, not big. I'm playing Alabama in the first quarter and Alabama at half.
Yes.
Jarrett joined. This looks like he just got out of the shower after doing some work, and he's joined it. We're going to get his opinion on a Notre Dame Ohio State game here in a minute.
Yep.
But I like Bama at first quarter and the first half.
Yeah.
Saban traditionally. Gets the most out of his guys early. I mean, those guys come out, run the score up, and then honestly, they've actually been winning huge at halftime in games, and the opponent has come back and covered because Saban will just run the ball. He'll run the clock out, try to keep his guys healthy. Put the subs in. So I like Bam at the first quarter, and I like Bam at halftime in that game.
That's interesting you say that, because that is getting bet exactly how you're describing it.
Yeah.
So people are pounding the first quarter, Bama minus 10. I think you better get on that quickly, because that'll continue to go up. It's definitely going to get to 10.5 here really soon. 27 is where it's hanging right now for the half, but people are on that. Be sure you get it before it goes to 28. Jump all over it.
28's tough.
Yes, and especially if it gets to 28.5. But then the buyback is coming for the full game. So you have guys betting the quarter and half, like you suggested, and then jumping on Utah State to take that 42.5.
That's not a
so
bad
as this
bet.
thing continues to come up, like you say, he's not much to embarrass teams.
No.
And Utah State isn't one of these doormats. I mean, they're not super bad. Like, they're an all-right team. I mean, they're better than a lot of the teams that they play. But anyway, keep an eye on that. Be sure to jump on Bama early, get that good number. Anything else in the evening hours?
I have one more that I like. I like Louisville against Syracuse. I think Louisville will go up there. They've been I got a stat on them. They've been 7-1 against the spread against Syracuse the last 8. Beat them 41-3 last year. And I think they go into Syracuse again. Louisville's got a lot of players back. I look for them to cover that. I think they'll cover that 4.5.
What do you think about the total in that game? Because I like the game over.
Yeah, I like the game over too. I think Louisville.
Syracuse has improved on offense.
Yeah, so I think Louisville's scoring the 30s.
Yes, Louisville's very good on offense.
Yeah, so I like that game over, but I do like Louisville. That's one I starred that I really like. So
okay,
and then we'll round it out. And you have any others?
Yeah, I have one game. Oregon State, Boise State. I mentioned this game a few weeks ago. This is my favorite game. I won't even be able to stay awake for this.
No, dear Lord. Good Lord.
But anyway, it would be my favorite game to watch of the weekend. I'm looking forward to this for some reason. I have no idea why, but I'm intrigued by Oregon State this year. I have them in my Pac-12 picks to go over their win total, and I think that's a good game as Boise comes to town. I'm trying to get on Oregon State if you can get 2.5. Lay that, because I think it might go up a little bit, but it should be a good game. So, yeah, that's the last.
And you
last
like Oregon State there?
Yes, I like Oregon State minus the 2.5 if you can get the 2.5.
And then Notre Dame, Ohio State, Jarrett, what's your pick? He points both fingers high. He's playing that game over the total heavy.
All right,
heavy. So that's your Big Ten star. Big steamer. Run around the pine tree. And then Sunday and Monday game. Matt, any feel?
I really like LSU.
Do you like
them a lot.
Matt likes LSU, and I hate to say it, I like him too because I don't like Brian Kelly now. But
Brian Kelly, 40 straight outright wins when his team is favored in the game.
Oh, okay.
Now, he doesn't cover all the time, but when he's favored, he wins.
And in Clemson, Georgia Tech, the Monday night game to close out.
That one, I would say I would be shocked if Georgia Tech would score more than 2 touchdowns in that game. I would be trying to hammer their team total under. I don't know what it is at this point. I would say under 21.5 with Clemson's unproven offense. I don't want to lay that, but I would consider looking at some team total things that you can do to capitalize on Clemson's really good defense. That would be my advice.
All right, great.
So, yes.
Good work. And, hey, once again, that Generations, Jarrett, you hear that? Luke called in. The Generations parlay podcast, Pine Room podcast parlay. Ohio State minus 17. And the Mountaineers catching 7.5.
Plus 7.5. And if you play that, you're getting back. If you lay $100, you're getting back about $265 on that parlay.
And if it hits, he said, Jarrett, just you can go out and get the Mountaineer burger.
Yeah, big Mountaineer burger on Thursday night.
You
so
get chili, what
chili,
what
ketchup,
cheese?
Mustard. Jubb, do you remember the cheese he said? He was too busy salivating.
I can't remember. Yeah, I heard chili, and my brain shut
Just
off.
stop right there.
Yeah,
Sounds great. But
anyway,
be sure and get down there to Generations. This will be coming out tomorrow, which will be tonight. So go there tonight and watch the game, eat the burger. If you're not into the chili burger, get the Pine Room burger. Try that out.
Yeah.
And then email us, contact at the Pine Room Podcast, tell us what you think of it, or put something on social media about it at the Pine Room Podcast. Go buy a shirt, get chili all over it at the Pine Room shop, do all that stuff, and then maybe
that could be a little
Champ Chili Chains chili stained T-shirt.
Yeah, we could that could be a thing, but we could also put bibs in the shop. Now.
Yes, baby bibs with his head on it. So anyway, we're going to talk a little NFL football, getting ready for that coming up next week right here on Bettor's Last Stand. We'll be right back.
This show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. All wagering activity should only be conducted by those 21 years of age or older and within the confines of federal, state, and local law. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, contact 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
All right, welcome back into Bettor's Last Stand, Episode 7. We're going to talk a little NFC North here really quickly for you as you get into this exciting college football weekend. Coach, we're going to start out with the Chicago Bears, Champ's favorite team. Bears win total 6.5. They're 15-1 to win the North, 80-1 to win the NFC, and 150-1 to win the Super Bowl. I absolutely love this win total under.
I do too.
Fucking love it.
I can't see.
Absolutely
I can't see how they're going to win. There's no way they're winning 7 games.
No, I had them at 4 tops.
There's no way. There's no way. I think that's. I don't know what the bookmakers are seeing there that the Bears
Me either.
are going to how they're going to win 7 games.
Their roster is horrendous. I was never a Justin Fields guy anyway. For the pro type of offense. So I'm way down on the Bears. You were mentioning about the Pirates and how their guys just kind of give up when they're in the system and stuff. Before we came back on air, but I think the same thing for the Bears. You hear guys making comments of that team. It's like, oh my God, I can't wait to get out of this team. Like I'll do. I'd almost rather be cut than be on this team. Like that's how bad they are.
I mean, I just don't know how they're going to. You look at their schedule. I mean, and they don't play. Their schedule isn't right because this league plays the AFC North, I believe, right?
No,
AFC
South.
AFC, they play the Jets.
The East.
AFC East. I'm sorry,
yeah,
the Jets,
East,
Miami.
Because they had Houston.
New England.
That
Yeah.
So that might be a game they could win, but I don't even. I think Houston will be better than them.
I don't know how. I love that. I love that total under too.
I couldn't find. Honestly, if any, I know people are saying the Falcons or the Texans might not win a game. I really think the Bears are the team that might not win. I really do. If they don't win, they have, like, even when they play the Giants, the Falcons, and the Jets, they're all on the road.
Yes.
So those are 3 teams they could maybe beat, but on the road.
Yes,
I see no chance this team wins more than 4 or 5 at the very most.
Yes, I mean, they will be able to run the ball a little bit with David Montgomery. Yeah. I mean, he is a good running back. I don't know where he's ranked in fantasy leagues.
Well, his stock's probably hurt because they have no other weapons.
That's the problem. They'll probably stack the box on him and make Fields throw.
Yes.
They lost Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
And tight end
loss.
Jimmy Graham. So I don't know. I'm with you.
They're pretty light on playmakers. I mean, they bring in the St. Brown guy receiver and Byron Pringle, who's a guy. If he couldn't make it work for the Chiefs, I mean, how's he going to do it with the Bears? And Darnell Mooney's a pretty good receiver, but again, I mean, what's he going to be able to do?
Yeah, so. And then on the other side, they lost Khalil Mack.
Yes.
And Akeem Hicks. So
and Roquan Smith was ready to quit already, and he ended up coming back, but he was all pissed off about the situation there. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's a rough time, but I do say I agree with Champ. Maybe they can cover some spreads.
Bears and under.
Yes, yeah, Jarrett says Bears and under.
I would bet them under a lot.
Yeah, and you know what? They may start getting enough points that you can take a shot with them covering spreads. But as far as win totals, I see no shot. But anyway,
I agree 100%. So I'm playing them. I'm with you, Matt.
Yep.
I like that.
Heavy under on the Bears.
Under. Yep.
All right, and on to another up and coming team on Hard Knocks on HBO. If anybody watches that, I don't. But the Detroit Lions head coach Dan Campbell in his second year. He's an interesting fellow. I'm not much on the Lions either. Win total 6.5 for them as well. I have a lot of questions about this team. They're 10-1 to win the division, 60-1 for the NFC, and 150-1 to win the Super Bowl. I had this team ranging between 2 and 6 wins. I think they could be tricky each week. They could be dangerous here and there if they're overlooked, but I don't like them at all.
I like Jared Goff. I won't say I like him, but I think I think he'll perform much better there. But I don't know.
Well, he better, because if he gets hurt, they're in trouble. They don't have a backup. They cut their only other quarterback on the roster.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they cut that David Blau guy the other day. So I don't know what the hell they're going to do. They got to sign a guy, obviously. But, so that was interesting. So Goff better stay upright or it could be trouble for them.
Wow.
But,
wow.
No, I think he's better than the rap that he gets. So, and they got Hawkinson and they got DJ Chark, receiver. I don't know. They got some players on offense,
and defensively, they gave up the second most points in the league, 27 points a game. So they're going to have to score, obviously, to beat people. So I don't know. I'm not as strong on them under the total as the Bears.
Right. Because I agree with that.
I think they can beat the Bears twice, so that could be could be 2 wins. That helps your
win total right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have much of a feel on the Lions either way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they have been getting a lot of public attention because they're on that show, the Hard Knocks show. But they have been getting a lot of love, so I would be leery of them a little bit early in the season until you see what they're going to do, because the lines could be a little bit slanted. People are betting them, so you may not get as many points as you should be, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes,
so
yes.
Keep an eye on them, but no, I'm not. I wouldn't say buy or sell on Lions too much. I would probably just pass on them, but I don't expect them to be great, but they could be dangerous from week to week. Moving on to the Packers. This team, obviously, very good defense, great quarterback, all-time great quarterback, and the question mark will come down to that wide receiver position, and right now their win total is at 11. They're minus 190 favorites to win the NFC North, 4-1 to win the NFC, and 9-1 to win the Super Bowl. I like the team. I like Aaron Rodgers, but can they get enough out of their playmakers to get this win total over, or even contend in the NFC, which is a conference that's very much so down compared to the AFC?
Right, exactly. I don't know. I mean, they've won 13 games plus the last 2 years. Right. They did lose some key players, which is really going to hurt them. But again, Rodgers, boy, he must be a dick, though. He must. I've heard some stories about him, like you said.
Yeah, he's a prickly pear. I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know. I would probably still play them over the total of 11.
It's because of the schedule.
Yeah, just because of the schedule, and they do still have they'll be able to run the ball with Aaron Jones and
yes.
And
the kid from Boston College,
A.J. Dillon.
Yeah,
A.J. Dillon.
Yep.
So they'll be able to run the ball, and that'll give Rodgers some room to throw. So I still think they'll score some points and win. Right. I think they'll win 12 games, maybe, or 13.
Yeah.
So I would probably play them over the total.
And Rodgers is good enough. They won a lot of games even with Devontae Adams out of the lineup. And they do have a very good defense. So I think they'll be in good field position. I think he'll kind of make some of these Christian Watson, the rookie, and some of these other guys could step up. I really like Sammy Watkins. I don't think he's totally finished yet. I think he could end up having a pretty strong year. I can see him being an Aaron Rodgers type receiver. So I would say Packers to the over probably. Well, and then, I think they're a playoff team.
And then playing the AFC East, they're going to get
that
wins.
Helps a lot.
They're going to beat the Jets twice. They'll probably beat the Dolphins twice.
Looking at their schedule, I mean, I found that they would win at least 10 games, and then I had coin flip games like at Minnesota, at Tampa, at Buffalo, at Philly, Rams, Miami.
Right.
So they're going to win a couple of those. You know what I mean?
So I think the schedule favors them to be over the total and obviously to win that division again.
Agreed. All right, moving on to the final team, Minnesota Vikings. I'm very high on this team.
I am too.
I think Kirk Cousins gets a bad reputation. I don't think he's nearly as bad. I think most teams would kill to have him under center. Right now, their win total sits at 9. Plus 260 to win the North. I would take a long look at that, and I really actually think 18-1 to win the NFC is a good bet with them. I think the NFC is down. Say Tom Brady gets hurt or has an issue and walks away, and then it's up for grabs. The Rams, it'd be hard for them to repeat, and then we just talked about the Packers. But I think the Vikings are kind of, and the Eagles, and then Dallas, whoever comes out of that division. But I think Minnesota could be dangerous. They got a new offensive coordinator and coach. The players are loving the system, so I think if you're a Vikings fan, I know that you've been disappointed so many times, but I'm excited about them. Coach.
Yeah, I like him too. They're going to run the football. One of my favorite running backs, Dalvin Cook. I just think he's such a threat. He catches the ball. He gets a lot of yak. I mean, he's a tough customer. Even though he went 2 years ago, he went down in the last game of the season, cost me a fantasy league, and I'm sure a lot of other people. I think all he needed was to get 20 yards.
And he was carving them up too.
He was carving them up, and he went down. But I like him. I like, and I'm with you. I'm not a Kirk Cousins hater. I think he's better than he gets credit for, and I like them over 9. Again, with that schedule and playing the Bears twice.
So they have the same schedule as Green Bay.
Right, and playing the AFC East and playing the Bears twice.
I thought 9 was Lions. 9 was low for them.
I agree, and I think they could make a run. I think they could make a run at the NFC North also.
Yeah. I just think the odds say take a shot with them. Somebody could come out of there. No one really expected the Rams. I mean, they thought the Rams would be pretty good last year, but you just never know. It kind of figures how things will break for you or whatever. So I'd be really interested in Minnesota. I think they win at least 10 games.
Skull.
There you go.
What was that?
Screaming.
Skull.
They yell at the game. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Yeah. And they play that awesome Viking horn.
They got a big drum. They clap their hands. They go skull. Skull.
Oh, is that a Viking
Skull.
thing?
Yeah, Viking.
Well, we got a Viking beer helmet coming for champ, so he could.
Can't wait to unveil that one. Jeez, but anyway, that about does it for us for Bettor's Last Stand, episode 7. It was great to be with everybody. Thanks again for Luke joining us, giving us the Generations Parlay. Thanks again to the Duplagas for all they've done for us. We really appreciate their support. We got tons of stuff going on. We're gonna have to get over here to set up for the Pine Room podcast, which we'll talk about all the cool things we got going on. Show of hands. We have beer sponsorships with Busch Light. We got tons of stuff happening. Be sure and check out our social media at the Pine Room Podcast. Email us, contact at the Pine Room Podcast. Check out all the stuff Jub does on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, all the stuff where you can listen to your podcast. Be sure to check everything out. Get some gear for the fall, thepineroomshop.com. We got a bunch going on, and this is just the beginning. So lots of fun coming up in the coming weeks, and enjoy your college football week 1. Coach, it should be a fun weekend.
I'm excited. I'll be starting to prepare. Well, I've been preparing for a long time, but I'm going to really amp it up here in the next couple days, and by Saturday morning, this place will be standing tall, and we will be ready to rock and roll.
Sounds great.
So see you guys next week.
Yes, you are watching Bettor's Last Stand. We'll see you next week. Good luck, everybody.
See ya.